Even when the truth starts to come out, it's like it doesn't even matter. Nothing can touch Joe. Hey guys, it's Kristen, and today we are talking about Season 2 of Netflix's You. On the run from his past, Joe Goldberg hides out in LA. With a new identity, he attempts to start a new life with a new love interest. But can he really escape his past, or is he doomed to repeat it? Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on You Season 2. What I really enjoy about the story of You is the deeper dive into Joe's psyche. Originally in Season 1, we follow Penn Badgley as Joe Goldberg, a bookstore manager who develops a toxic obsession with Guinevere Beck. He stalks her through social media and eliminates anything that he thinks is an obstacle in between their relationship. One of the things that I kind of took away from that season was that even though Joe was doing very awful things, the cast of characters themselves were very terrible and manipulative as well. When we get into Season 2, it becomes really apparent that Joe's obsession with Beck was just that. An obsession. She was very much a blank slate of a woman. Joe never thinks about what she really wants or allows her to lead her own life. He's always controlling her, manipulating situations, and believing that he has her best interests at heart. He thinks that that is what love is. When we meet Joe as Will in this season, he's sort of treating LA like a rehab. He feels bad about how things went with Beck and he doesn't want to fall into that same type of situation. He goes back and forth a lot this season over like, is he actually a good guy? Especially because that's what he wants to be for his new love interest, Love. And I do think in this new season we see Joe trying a lot. They definitely flip the script on his character. I think in Season 1 we see Joe do a lot of really terrible things for Beck that are actually irrational and just kind of hurting people to get them out of the way. Whereas in Season 2 we sort of get a little bit of an anti-hero vibe around Joe. There are some legitimate self-defense reasons for things, some are accidental deaths, and there are just some things that are honestly not even Joe's fault. Throughout it all, Love and Joe seem to have a legitimate connection they actually root for, and Joe really wants to be a better guy for her. He doesn't unnecessarily target people in her life. He actually likes her brother and her friends. He just really wants to do right by her, and he doesn't want to hurt her like he hurt Beck. But the character of Love is a very different character than Beck. She's real, she's flawed, she's very passionate, and she really respects the truth. And she and Joe are actually a lot more similar than it seems, especially when it comes to their desire for a real family and their devotion to protecting the people they love no matter what. And now, even though we're moving on to a different story this season for Joe, there are still a lot of connections to Season 1, from cameos to references to even recreating certain plot points with a twist. We even see the ghost of Beck, and her book's legacy actually has a pretty large role in this season, especially in the later half. And of course, the thread that really is connecting the two seasons is Candace, who was the girlfriend that Joe had before Beck, and she's on a journey to stop Joe once and for all. While she might seem unshaken when she first confronts Joe, what happened between them really does affect her. In fact, they both are kind of terrified of each other. We're following this kind of painful storyline this season that nobody wants to believe Candace. Even when the truth starts to come out, it's like it doesn't even matter. Nothing can touch Joe. While this is like a stalker thriller, there are some more comedic and lighthearted moments in this season that were really refreshing to see. When Joe first meets Love, he kind of has this narration going on in his head where he's like, hello you, oh no, we're not gonna do this again, you know? And so it was fun to see them kind of poke fun at that. Just in general, I think the narration actually works really well in this show. I think in other shows it might seem cheesy or overkill, but the way that they tackle it here, it just really works. And when Joe first comes to LA, he needs to, you know, get a new name, and he ends up taking over the identity of the real Will Bettelheim, and he locks him up in his glass cage. And, you know, it seems like that would probably go in a really dark place, but I actually really enjoyed the surprising place that their friendship went to. The real Will was rooting for him and sort of believed in him in a way that I don't think a lot of other people have, and that was really interesting to see. So while I think that the first season really focused on characters that were very terrible and manipulative, this new season, I think, really focused on the duality of people, kind of that idea of good versus bad, or this idea of that like internally everyone has this kind of dark side to them, and then on the outside you're showing everyone this more positive highlight reel of who you are. Penn Badgley continues to give us a very nuanced and conflicted performance. Victoria Pedretti delivered us so many levels in Love, Quinn. James Scully had some very intense but also at times very funny moments as 40. I also enjoyed some of the side supporting characters like Robin Lord Taylor as the real Will and Charlie Barnett, who really transformed in his role as Gabe. Overall, I was just super impressed by this cast and how strong their performances were. And I will say, while I did think it was interesting to give Joe a little bit more of like an anti-hero story, I didn't really like the Henderson storyline. Not only was it just gross, but it also, I felt, pulled a little bit away from the storylines of Love and Joe's relationship, as well as Candace's mission. I thought Candace was gonna have a much bigger and kind of like looming role in this season, and I don't think they went as far as they could have gone with it. I also thought towards the end of the season, there just ended up being all these hurdles that felt a little bit overkill, like they were just throwing drama for drama's sake into the storyline. It just got a little bit over the top at some points where I was kind of losing the main focus. When it comes down to it, Yu dives into this deeper story of like identity and what does it mean to be a good person, the idea of doing anything for love and for your family, and if it's possible to change and escape the sins of the past, while also delivering us some truly shocking twists and turns. I will admit I did have a little bit of an inkling of what the big twist was gonna be, but I think that the way that they revealed it was really well done. If you're interested in that, I actually have a video right here where I'm gonna explain the big twists and turns of You Season 2, and there will be spoilers in that video, so if you wanna check it out, it's right over here. When it seems like we're in the midst of a happy ending, it turns out that Joe is now in a prison of his own making, and they hint at a Season 3 that seems like it's going to go into a whole nother level of intense. If you like this one, you can check out more of my TV reviews right over here, and I will catch you in my next video. See ya.